Hello lovelies. So something a little different today. I'm starting a new art journal. I have so many art journals, I really don't need another one, but I bought this book and I thought it would make an amazing art journal, and I can't help myself, I just really want to start it. So I bought it from QBD, and they have a lot of books that they mark down. I think this one ended up costing me like $7.99 or something like that. And so yes, it's Ed Sheeran, A Visual Journey. It is green, but the reason I got it, one, the paper quality, like I love the paper inside, but not only that, I really liked the idea of one, altering a book, but two, there's actually some really cool sketches and pages and things inside that I think would be really cool to incorporate into art journals. Like look at the tats, like that's going to be fantastic to turn into an art journal page. And yeah, I just think I think it's going to be a really nice see, that I'd probably keep as is. I think it's going to be a really good project to see how this turns out. So yeah, I thought I would show you what I'm going to use first of all. So yeah, like I said, I bought this at QBD. I liked the size, the thickness, and the pages. So the paper quality is really good. It's going to hold up really well to mixed media. Obviously a lot of gesso as well, but I just liked the look of it. See, that's a pretty cool page. So even if you weren't an Ed Sheeran fan, still it's a really good place to start. I actually have another book like this that I bought it a couple years back, One Direction. Again, I'm not a One Direction fan, I got it at an op shop, but it's the same thing. It's a good heavy cover. The paper quality is what got me, and yeah, I just like the idea of altering a book. And yeah, so I thought I would start with this one. So this has been sitting out for a while because my son wanted to have a look at it, and yeah, I thought it would be a good place to start. So this is, I think I might do the cover eventually. I'm not going to do it first up. But also, I don't think I'm going to start from the beginning and go through. I think I'm just going to pick a random page and start on that because, like I said, I love some of the pages and I think they're going to make really great journal pages. So I just thought I'd tell you a bit about the journal before I get started. All right. Let's pick a page and let's get started. Alright, so this is the page I have decided to start on. So I think this is a page like in the middle of the book. This is the first page I've done in the book. So like I said, I'm not starting from the beginning. I'm just opening to a random page. So I'm starting with some gesso. One, because I wanted to make sure the page was prepped properly. And two, because I did want to make sure that the text was sort of toned down a bit, and also so I could blend this image on the left hand side into the page that I'm going to create. So I really did want to focus on keeping that image there a little bit but still blending it into my page. I have to admit, this is actually the first time I've tried to do something like this. Usually I tend to start with a blank page, so starting on like an altered book is something completely new for me. So blending in pre-existing images with my own work is definitely something I'm going to have to work on probably a little more often. It's still, yeah, I love how the page turned out, but yeah, it's just, it's different. It definitely is different. So to help me get around this whole two separate page thing, I'm starting with some of the collage rice paper from Scrap FX. And this one is the Grunge Circles, and I thought it would be good because there's a lot of white space as well, but still some of that black and white texture and pattern that'll help go with these, with my pages. I think the fact that the page and even the sketch is black and white helped a lot. I tell you what, I'm probably going to struggle when it comes to a coloured page and trying to work that into it, but anyway, that's tomorrow's problem. I've recently just discovered collage papers and using rice paper in an art journal. I tend to be a paint and ink kind of girl, so discovering rice paper and collage papers for some texture and pattern has actually been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. So I put, this is the Grunge Circles rice paper. I put some on my right-hand side and then some in the middle so it overlaps my 2 pages. So you see I'm working really hard at trying to blend in that image into my page. So I'm starting with some paints. Now this is Blue Hawaiian from Dylusions. Now it's one of the cocktail colours. And the cocktail colours being more of a neon, they are very translucent, very transparent. And I knew that and I picked it specifically for that fact because I had so much going on in the background that I still wanted to be able to see it. I wanted to be able to see that awesome text. I wanted to be able to see that picture and I wanted to be able to see the grungy circles. So then I'm coming in with some teal because I do like colour variations. I hate just using one colour. And I'm just using my hand to apply that. It is more opaque, this paint, but it's still, it did the job and it blended nicely. So I've got a bit of colour on my page, but I've still got all of that awesome texture and layering in the background. So now I'm coming in with some stamps. And this is the Number Crunch stamp, again by Scrap FX. I am a huge fan of the Scrap FX foam stamps. I don't know what it is about these stamps, but they stamp beautifully, especially like I use archival ink and I always pick black. It's just a habit of mine. I do have the mini colored ones that I really need to start using more, but the image is so clear and crisp. I absolutely adore these stamps. So that's where I started, just to add some more texture and layering into my background. So this is the Intersections stencil, and I thought I'd go with some green, but as you can see, you can't really see the detail in the stencil. It just doesn't pop enough. So at this point, I thought I'd ruined it, but I thought, all right, well, I'll try some black. I tried wiping it off. I thought I'd go over it again with some black, and this works much better. It definitely does pop where you can see the detail in the stencil that way. I actually really like, when I go back over it, you'll see, you can still see some of the green underneath, so I still get that color variation. I should have done it again. Like, I do use this stencil in a few areas, but I just use the straight black because obviously you can see it better. I probably should have used the green underneath. I really do like how that green pops through the black a little bit. But I'm just moving my stencil around, just giving me some areas of focus, and then I like the fact that it sort of gives me a nice little border. As you can see, I'm going back in with the black, and yeah, I like how it's all joining together and not just floating into space. And I can turn this stencil around in all different ways, and I still get the same patterns, but yeah, it's giving me a nice little path for your eye to follow. And it's sort of bleeding off into that left-hand page. As you can see, I've left a lot of the left-hand side empty, so it looks like all my color and paint and pattern is sort of fading into that page, and this was my attempt to bring those 2 pages together. So then I'm splattering some black ink because I just love splatters, I really do. And then I wanted to go with a focal image, and these are the Dream Ladies silhouettes, and I thought these would work really well. I love to have a focal image. I love to have something right in the middle that draws your eye and really pops from the page. And I decided to go with this one here. And first I couldn't decide where I wanted it. So in the end I go over here because it is, again, more of that black and white. It really pops off of that section of black stenciling that I have in the background. And then because I can't have a focal image without a title or words of some kind, this is just some more words from one of the collage sheets that I had in my stash. And I'm just cutting that. I'm cutting it out, and then I'm going to stick that right in the middle and make that my title. And yeah, I really do love how it turned out. So to really draw your eye into my title and my Dream Lady there, first I attempt with a white Posca paint pen, but white was the wrong color choice. So in the end, I go back over it with a black Stabilo All Pencil, and that really makes it pop. It makes it look a little more dimensional and not just 2D stuck to the page, if that makes sense. You'll see what I mean in a second. This is my attempt. For some reason, I picked a white Posca pen. Don't know why, because it does absolutely nothing for the image. But yeah, when I go back over it, because when I use words for a title, I tend to always go around them with a Stabilo All Pencil, just because I like that pop and that definition it brings to it. And then I decided to add the Stabilo All Pencil to the Dream Lady silhouette, and it really does make it pop. And it brings in that little hand-drawn element that I really do love, because I'm a messy, grungy kind of arty person. So having those messy lines really appeals to my art journal nature. So yeah, so I hope you have enjoyed this page. I really do love how it turned out, and I will be using this journal much more often because it's turning into one of my favorites. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back real soon. Bye for now.